Okay, hi everybody. Part 3, talking about potential leaks in and around the intercooler, going to and from the intercooler, and I'll explain the system a little bit better. Like I say, this is part 3, and as I learn this ski more, I'll share the information. Anyways, this is a service manual for a Ultra 300. 310, I presume it's exactly the same, but anyways, this is for a 300. So, here's the intercooler. This is the back of the ski. This is the jet pump. And the jet pump, when you're running the ski in a river, lake, ocean, backyard pond, wherever, when you're driving the ski, this jet pump acts as a water pump as well. Not only does it propel you, it forces water. Here's one line. This is the far left line looking at the back of the transom that I talked about. From the front of the ski looking back inside the transom, the one to the far left. See these black arrows? The jet pump is acting as a water pump, and it's forcing water up the path of these black arrows. The water comes in the left side, looking backwards towards the intercooler from the front. So the water goes in the left side. Going back to my previous videos, I put some blue tape on that one. So the water, when you're running the jet ski, goes through the intercooler, cools the intercooler, then comes out the bottom of the intercooler kind of to the front, where I tried to get you a shot of it, and I really couldn't get a good one. Anyways, that hose continues on out the intercooler, and there's your intercooler flushing port there. So when you're running the ski, the water gets pushed in as a water pump from the jet pump. Follow these arrows, the black arrows, because that's the flow. The water goes into the intercooler, cools the intercooler, comes out of the intercooler. There's your black arrow, and there's your gray flushing port for your intercooler, and it gets expelled out the back of the ski. So, when you flush the intercooler, look at this non-darkened arrow. What they're saying is the water goes in both directions. So when you take the ski out and you're going to flush the ski on your driveway or wherever with a garden hose, we hook up our garden hose here, and the water goes in the reverse flow. Goes this way, goes through the intercooler, flushes out any debris in there, hopefully salt, water, whatever, goes back and is expelled out the inlet, where when you're running the ski, the water comes out that way. So as you can see, the intercooler system has nothing to do with the motor, with the engine. So you flush the intercooler with the engine off. So it's quite easy. So when you're running the ski, the water comes in, not on a garden hose. When you're running the ski, you're driving it in the lake or ocean, wherever. The water comes in. Left side of the intercooler, enters the intercooler, cools the fins, comes out the other side of the intercooler. Down, this outlet is near the, we'll say the drive shaft on the jet ski in that area, which I've already talked about. Trace that hose, it comes out the flushing port. Like I say, I've never looked behind the ski when somebody else is riding it, but I will. So that's the flow. Look at the black arrow. But when the ski is on the trailer and we're flushing our ski, must be hook up a garden hose here to the flushing port, the gray one. The water goes in the opposite direction. Goes through the intercooler, comes out, is expelled out the jet pump. And just for your information, let's switch over to the engine flushing port. Here's your flushing port here for your engine. There you are again. It shows you the non-darkened arrow. Trace that up, and where does it go to? Where I pointed out previously in my other video, to the exhaust riser there. It's that black hose with that kind of mesh on it. So there, follow the flow when the ski's running. Look at the darkened arrows. It's saying it expels that way. But when you're flushing that black port, the engine, of course you start the engine first. Turn on the water within 5 seconds. Flush it for 5-10 minutes. And there's your water flushing the engine. Nothing to do with the intercooler. goes up, flushes the engine, interestingly in the reverse flow. Then obviously shut the engine off when you're finished flushing the engine, and give it 3 or 4 burps, revs, maybe 2,000, 2,500 RPM to expel any water. So shut the water off first, burp the engine, we call it, like voom, 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 voom. Shut the engine off, we're done. And then a person could go and flush the intercooler, but you don't start the engine when you flush the intercooler. Unless you hook up a dual hose system, but I'm not going to go into that. So anyways, back to the intercooler. If a person thinks they have leaks, it's best to go inside the transom. First go outside, check all the hose clamps on the jet pump. All these hoses. You go on the outside, then come inside the ski and look inside the back of the transom. Check all the hose clamps inside the back of the transom that I've already talked about. Trace all the hoses. There's hoses that go to the engine, go to the supercharger. There's lots of cooling hoses. So anyways, that's today's tip. I've learned a little bit today, and I hope you have too, from Rod. Okay.